Welcome to another Adobe Script tutorial. We'll continue working in Photoshop. So far, our Photoshop scripts have output JPEGs. This time, I'll show how to save other formats. To start, I've copied the code from Tutorial 8 and made the title Tutorial 9. We'll use the same input files from last time and make the same results, but output other file formats. Like before, you'll need a master image. Most of the code won't change, only the final section of the process file function, when the file is saved. First, I want to break out the code for saving a JPEG. This makes it easy to reuse in other scripts. I'll copy the lines that save the file. Then at the end of the script, create a new function. But remember, end of the script is not end of the file. Stay inside the anonymous function out of global scope. Function, save JPG, and paste in the copied code. The variables the code uses need to be declared, but instead of file JPG, I'll use simply file. You'll see why in a bit. var file and var save options. Change the two instances of file JPG to simply file. Don't add a variable for docwork. We'll pass that to the function, along with the desired file name. Add to the function declaration the arguments d and n for document and name. Then docwork becomes d. For name, it will be the base name, meaning the name without extension. As you'll see later, the extension varies depending on the file format, so we'll add the extension here. But making the name, keep that where this function is called. I'll show that in a moment. For this function, replace the code that makes the name with simply n. Then add to it the extension, with the preceding dot, of course. That completes our save JPG function. In the process file function, we still need to create the file's base name. Let's put that in a new variable, var base name. Then reduce the line from before that made file JPG to only the part for the file name. Base name equals doc name. Keep the regular expression that strips the extension, and only add the suffix framed, but not the extension JPG. Now call the new function and pass the document and base name. Save JPG, docwork, base name. And remove the lines from before that actually save the file. That's all done in the new function. Last, remove the two variable declarations no longer used in this function, var file JPG and var save options. Before we go further, let's try it in Photoshop and make sure it works like before. And you can see it still works. The benefit of breaking out this code into its own function is that to save another format, we only need to call a different function. Let's do PNG. Duplicate the Save JPG function and rename it to Save PNG. Now you can see why I wanted to make the variable simply file. Then it doesn't need to change each time the function is duplicated. It would be confusing for a function that saves PNG to have a variable with JPG in the name. File is universal. Of course, change the extension from JPG to PNG. Also, PNG has a different save options constructor. Save options equals new PNG save options. And the properties are different. Remove the JPEG properties. Those don't apply. Then add the properties that PNG uses instead. It has only two. Save options compression equals 5. Save options interlaced equals false. Compression ranges from 0 to 9. 0 makes a large file and saves quickly, whereas 9, the file is smaller but takes longer to save. A good compromise is 5. In my tests, PNG file size is only slightly larger with compression 5, but save time is about half. The interlace property doesn't affect either size or time by much. False is a slightly smaller file, and true is slightly faster to save. But note, these results are for Windows. On Mac OS, neither of these properties have any effect. I'm not sure why, but Mac Photoshop makes the same file size and takes the same time, no matter the values assigned to these properties. That completes the Save PNG function. To use the new function, go back to the Process File function and change the function called. Keep the JPG call, just make it a comment. We'll use it again later. Then add the PNG function call. Save PNG, docwork, base name. And since we're saving other formats, change the comment Save JPEG to be less specific, simply save. Now try the script. It works like before, only the result is PNG files. Now let's save PSD. Duplicate the PNG function and rename it to Save PSD. Change the extension from PNG to PSD. Again, the Save Options constructor is different. Save Options equals new Photoshop Save Options. And the properties are different. Save Options Alpha Channels equals true. Save Options Annotations equals true. Save Options Embed Color Profile equals true. Save Options Layers equals true. Save Options Spot Colors equals true. Or set any to false if you prefer. Usually, PSDs are working files, so it's customary to preserve these properties by setting each true. In the Process File function, comment Save PNG to keep it for later, and call the new function Save PSD. Save PSD, docwork, base name. Save and try the script. Again, the result is the same, only now the files are PSD. Open one of them. Notice the layer with mask is intact because layers were set true. The last format we'll add is TIFF. Duplicate the PSD function and rename it to Save TIFF. Change the extension from PSD to TIFF. The Save Options constructor is TIFF Save Options. TIFF uses the same properties as PSD, along with a few others. So keep the PSD properties and add these. Save Options Image Compression equals TIFF Encoding, TIFF LZW. Save Options Layer Compression equals Layer Compression Zip. Save Options Transparency equals true. For a smaller TIFF image, change alpha channels, layers, and spot colors to false if you like. But then the result is flattened, just so you know. In the Process File function, comment the line for Save PSD and call the new function Save TIFF. Save TIFF, docwork, base name. Save the script and give it a try. Same result, but now TIFFs. Now you have functions to save 4 common formats for use in future scripts. Let's take this one step further. Add the choice of format to the script interface. Go to the top and add a script variable, var formats, equals, brackets for array, then fill the array with the formats. JPG, comma, PNG, comma, PSD, comma, and TIFF. Then add a UI variable for a drop-down list. var list formats. Go to the code for the user interface. After the button and text for the output folder, and before the group for the OK and Cancel buttons, add a new group. G equals P, add group. G alignment equals left. G add static text, undefined, format. List formats equals G add drop-down list, undefined, formats. And let's add something we haven't done before. Set the list to the first item. List formats selection equals 0. Then we don't have to check if something is selected, because if nothing else, the first item is always selected. Run the script to make sure it works. There's our new drop-down list with the choice of file format, but it doesn't do anything yet. Close the script and we'll do that next. It's easy. Go to the Process File function. This is why I said to comment the lines for the save functions. Uncomment all, then before Save JPG, add a switch block. Switch, list format, selection, index. Case 0, save JPG. Break. Case 1, save PNG. Break. Case 2, save PSD. Break. Case 3, save TIFF. Break. Default. Break. Now try the script. Select the folders, then a file format. And the format selected is output. As you can see, it's not difficult to give the user a choice and have the script act on the choice. Subscribe so you're notified of upcoming videos, and like this one if you found it helpful. Also, leave a comment. What topic shall we do next? Add your ideas to the comments. All suggestions are welcome. Thank you for watching.